Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Business Talk SA. I am your host, Pelele Zamini, and I'll let Priscilla introduce themselves.
Good afternoon, Business Talk. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dichaba Kubayi, and I'm here representing Hygriene, which is a detergent manufacturing company.
Hello everyone. It's me again, Sanele. I'm co-host of Business Talk. And yeah, we're excited to hear from our special guest today. So, Dichab, I'm going to jump right in. Please tell us a little bit about Hygriene.
Okay, so Hygriene is a detergent manufacturing company who were established in 2020, just before the lockdown. That's when the business was registered. But prior to that, we had already started with research and development from December of 2019. And when the business was registered, that's when we really started, taking things seriously, and it was less of a hobby than an actual business. We manufacture liquid chemicals such as your cream cleaner, which is, what you use to clean the bath, your tackies and so on, dishwashing liquid, bleach and so on. We've also got the newest addition, which is our washing powder. Okay. So washing powder seems to be like the star of the show because it's like, it's such high demand. A lot of people go crazy for our washing powder. We've branded it Quick Wash. Okay. So we've been in business for about 4 years now.
4 years.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. How has it been?
Oh, it's been challenging. It comes with a lot of growth. A lot of growth. It's been quite a challenge. But I would not have chosen any other path.
Yeah.
Honestly speaking. Yeah.
So I want to know what kind of motivated you to go into detergents, because there's a lot of business ventures that you could have done. What motivated you to choose?
I'm a very, I don't know how to describe myself. I like a challenge. I like going into things that people say, nah, I should never make it. So I'm from a occupational health and safety background, and with occupational health and safety, I was servicing more the construction kind of industry. And when I came into the chemical space, it was because someone had requested me to come and do some to do an audit on their factory. And when I came back and shared the ideas with the people around me, they're like, "Oh, this is amazing!" So people actually, I'm like, "Yes, people do this." And I asked the question, just wanted to find out, what people, what they thought at that time. And those who were close to me were like, no, it's not. It's not stick to what you know. And I was like, what? Is that challenge? So yeah, I dove right in, but over and above that, I was seeing it as a means to an end, not only for myself, but also for the people that it benefits. I stay in Soweto, Petitproof, and the hygiene standard, particularly for food manufacturing businesses, does need a little bit of an up.
Yes, let's talk about that because that's quite interesting. What have you picked up? Because Sahamba will go to that guy, Satani Kota.
Yeah.
It doesn't look nice. Yes.
Yeah.
So what are the things that you've picked up to say maybe we need to educate business people when it comes to hygiene?
So it's a number of things. If you look at things from this perspective, to say, abogogo nabo mama bethu would leave ikhaya labo elokishini to go and work emakitchen, as it said, and bayocleana indlu yomlungu and then come back home. Like it's their job to clean into yabo. But then when it comes to izinto zethu, somehow, some way, I don't know where the disconnect comes. We tend to neglect our own. You understand? Our own hygiene, and yet last week upon in my kitchen we left in our you understand?
Yeah.
So there was a bit of a discord. So which means what it is not in us to be unhygienic.
Yeah.
Then we are hygienic people, we are clean. I think maybe it has a lot to do maybe with self-image, what we think of ourselves. And it is up to us, especially Tina, that are within that in that space, hygiene. Just remind ourselves who we are.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, there's also a mentality of mangekho clean kahle, then ayikho mnandi kahle. If you want to go to the taxi rank where we're going to put on the table, not in a plate, like leyo nyama ekatshwa under the tree, and you can see the birds are busy picking. It's crazy, it's not something that you would expect when you walk into certain spaces. But when you go, how is that okay?
Yeah.
How is that fine?
And I think a clean place also gives a sense of respect.
Exactly,
So, it's also something that you have to look into.
Exactly, exactly. And it's not everyone, it's just, there's just certain people or certain places or certain situations that are that way,
Okay, so since you've seen that standard and that brand identity between our people, how did you establish your brand identity? Like, what is your market research? How did that process go?
It initially, I didn't even know what I was making that research. It was more me just trying to find where I sort of fit in. It was only later once I got educated. When you go to platforms such as these, and you talk to people, you engage with other businesses, that you realize, what I have been doing was market research, where you literally just collect all the information that you have.
Sure.
So I would collect that from my immediate surroundings and find out from the people that are interested in buying my product, to see what kind of people are interested in buying my product. Is there a certain profile that I am talking to? You understand? And collecting that information and making sense out of it to say, okay, then that means my audience is of the same skin color as me. They have these concerns. They concern maybe about pockets more than they are about the environmental friendliness. So the different like your product will tell you who you're talking to. You understand? So it was a collection of that over time gave me a picture of who my client really was.
I like how planned and precise you are, because I feel like a lot of people start businesses and maybe they're looking at it in terms of a side hustle, so that they don't go into detail in terms of my market research and pricing. But now I want to ask, now that you've established your market and you're saying that you're selling in Soweto and kind of like in the township space, do you market to upper class? Like maybe is your brand marketable in bigger spaces?
It can be, but I like to focus on what works. I at this point in time, I wouldn't have the capacity to go into a whole new market, because there's a whole lot of costs that comes with that.
True, yeah.
So where I've positioned myself is basically for what is needed right now. It's a what need versus demand kind of situation. So if I'm going to go into a new market, I need to find a new need.
Yeah.
So if there's a need here and I'm meeting that, I don't see why I should, at this point, at least, Yeah.
So we are in a room here full of entrepreneurs, and I read on your bio that you're looking into going into Africa. So I did some research, and it says that this industry is worth 8.1 billion in Africa at the present moment. It's estimated to grow at 4.3%, which means by 2028 we'll be at 10.4 billion, right? So I want to ask, going back to the marketing question, as a business person, so firstly, and also know that you do educate other business people to start this type of business, right? So as a person looking to go in, when I'm looking at a market like how you went into Soweto, what am I looking at to say, is this the market for me or is this not the market?
Okay, so firstly, like you've already mentioned, with the research, number one, is very important. You can't go into a market without having some kind of background or some kind of understanding of that particular market. So number one, you research the market, you research the industry as well. There's no point of you going into an industry that has got a short lifespan. I mean, if you're going into an industry such as, let's say, media, for example, and you know that everything is going AI, you need to know which way to channel yourself. You can't just jump into something and say, I'm going to sell magazines.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
If we had this conversation 20 years ago, maybe, we could be. But at this point in time, you need to like really do research, and research of your market and research of that particular industry in order for you to know exactly who you're talking to, who your direct audience is.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna talk in a bit about the products, but I want you to speak to us about signing up. Is it a program? Do I sign up for a program with you if I would like to enter into the space and start this type of business?
So we are working on a reseller model. It's not something that is complete as yet. We are just fixing a few things here and there, but very soon you'll be able on our website to click on a sign up button and then put up all your details, and then you can sign up as a reseller. In that way, you'd be able to build your clientele, and we'll take you through the whole process step by step, from building your clientele, learning the products and so on and so forth. There's a lot of things that are involved with business, yeah. So we'll be able to hold your hand throughout the whole thing. Yeah.
We're looking at time frame. When would this?
In about a month or so.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's already started. We're just fixing a few things.
Awesome.
All right, so I like how you're thinking about business and how you're thinking about expanding to other people and not limiting the business. Because I think when we were having this conversation earlier with Sanal and I, a few people were asking, most people in business tend to gatekeep, and not want to share and expand on information. So I want to understand, if you're a person that is freely expressive and freely willing to give information, what is your growth plan? What is your growth projection?
Okay, so I believe from my faith that I need to replenish the earth and multiply. There's no way I'm going to multiply if I'm closed in. There's just not going to happen. It's impossible. Businesses grow not only in that direction, but in that direction. And there's no way I'm going to grow in that direction if we don't open up. So the plan right now is to have that reseller model and be able to spread my wings. I mean, I see it as a great opportunity, not only for the reseller to be able to have a means of them making a living, but also for myself to see to see expansion and to see the industry grow. Because with new entrances, they're going to come with new minds, they're going to come with new ideas, they're going to come with new processes and stuff, and that's going to benefit my business if I'm the one that has opened the channel for them to be able to to come in. So that's the idea. That's the whole idea, to just open that reseller model and have that grow into whatever. I don't know where it's going. I can see it, but I don't know. With business, you can't exactly predict. You can plan, but you can't exactly predict exactly what's going to happen. If we're having this conversation a year ago, we'd be talking something totally different.
Okay, so what does your team look like? Because I know it's not just you. What does the structure look like, the organizational structure for the people that come into the business?
So my team consists of marketing and PR. Her name is Ntokozo. She does an amazing job. She goes out and gets interviews like these. Shout out to Ntokozo. She does that for us. She handles our social media. She's in partnership with, let me say, she works very closely with a company that handles our social media, Hygriene Council. They've been doing an amazing job together. She also does the back end type of the show, follow up on leads and so on and so forth. That's also we've got well on that side of things. And then we've got Lerato. Lerato does more of like your physical sales. She'll go to the different schools, she'll do presentations and so on. She's more on the ground kind of person. And then we've also got Melinda. She does our administration. She will follow up on invoices. She'll do our filing, make sure everything that Ntokozo needs is available. Everything that we do in the factory is all in line. We've got STEM. Seth does our mixing. He's the one that mixes the products. He makes sure that they are bottled and labeled nicely.
Sure.
He makes sure that we've got enough stock. He deals with our suppliers as well. He does ordering as well. When the orders come in, he makes sure that they're all ready in time to go out. Yeah.
When did you make that change? So we most of us will start off at self-employed.
Yes.
And then we become business people.
Yes.
Sometimes people that are self-employed call themselves business people. You're not running an organization yet, so there is a difference. But where did you make the change to say now I am going to have an organization with people and departments?
Yeah, it wasn't overnight. It really wasn't overnight. I think I'd say maybe in the second year of business when I realized that I really can't do everything myself, which is very difficult, especially if you are nurturing something that you're really, really passionate about, to let go. Even now, I mean, 2 weeks ago, we had a conversation with the team and I was like, oh, guys, I'm so overwhelmed. And they were shouting at me like, so it really, it's not an easy thing to do, but I would say maybe we started about 2 years ago and it was baby steps. We'd start maybe by just teaching one person how to do the administration and let them handle that.
Sure.
And then add on a bit of that and a bit of that, and you realize that that person is overwhelmed and get another person to share the responsibility, and it's been growing since. Yeah.
Awesome.
I just want to know, what is your relationship with failure? Because you are an entrepreneur.
Yes.
And I feel like from what you're saying, there has been a fast acceleration of growth, but I think people, to be relatable, want to know, what has been your relationship with failure? Where have you failed?
Oh, I failed so many times. Oh my goodness, failure has been, that has been my biggest push, I think.
Sure.
It's the one thing that has really, really helped me to grow. I failed in so many places, man. I had an issue with my employees. I think I failed in managing. I think I failed a lot in managing. I'm so grateful for the team that I have now, because they are very understanding that I don't have it all together.
Sure.
And where I am weak, they are able to just step in. But management, I'm horrible at management. And
You're learning.
I'm learning. I'm learning. So it's with management. I also failed at some point with my finances. I think that was the biggest learning curve for me, the finances, because yes, you'd have your business account and you'd have your personal account, but sometimes when it's to sugar, guys, like like what I say to now, I must not have sugar in my teeth.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just swipe once,
Sure.
So it was a bit tricky at some point.
But what was because this is a very important part. What was the lesson there?
I think the lesson there was discipline. Was really, really to be disciplined. It was not only myself, but even the people around me, because for myself, because I understand what I'm carrying. I know I don't mind having a Chelsea pan once a day, every day for the whole month, for as long as but because I've got other people around me, I've got children, I've got a husband, you understand? And when I wake up in the morning eating him, when I come back and my, at the end of the month, and they're like, you were working the whole month, you understand?
Show something.
You understand? It becomes a bit tricky.
Sure.
I think for me, that was the one that was putting more pressure on me than anything. But it taught me, Uti, which I think maybe is another topic altogether. Uti, business is not only about myself and the sacrifices I make, but also the sacrifices that my children are making for me, whether it's their choice or not. They're not choosing to make that sacrifice, but if they have to eat jam,
Yeah, that is so powerful. I feel like in that sense, you're kind of giving a bigger understanding, and I feel like maybe that comes from, you touched a little bit on it before, it comes from your faith, because you said you know what you're carrying. So Are you comfortable with elaborating on your faith and how it's carried you through this entrepreneurship journey?
Yeah, I think it's really important. I think it's really, really important for any entrepreneur to have some kind of faith basis because it gets tough. It gets really tough. Yo, shushu, guys.
Yeah.
Yo, hot, like for real. And you really need more than just a support structure in terms of your mom, your dad, your whoever around you. You need something that is going to come from deep within, whether it's for me it's Jesus Christ, for someone else it could be Allah or whatever, where you can really sit down and be real,
Sure.
with where you find your solace and really cry to them and say, look, I need direction, I need you to help me, I need you to come through for me, drop down a miracle for me.
Yeah, sometimes it feels like that.
Exactly, So you really really need that place where you can really just cry and be real.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we may maybe fear judgment. To say, well, if I sit down and talk to my husband, uzobuya angitshela yeah, when you but you really need that place of yeah.
All right, let's talk about some of the products. So you can just take us to your product list and then take us to these products that you brought here specifically.
Okay.
And then we'll open up the floor for anyone who has questions.
Okay. So the products that we have are the basic products that you'll find in a household. So it would be dishwashing liquid. We have dishwashing liquid. We have hand wash soap. We have cream cleaner, which is what we have here today. Cream cleaner is what you would use to clean your bath. You'd use that to clean the stove. You'd use that to clean smudge on the wall. It's not recommended to be mixed in water. So a lot of the other products you dilute in water and then use it as need be. But this one you use it direct on the mess. We've got degreaser, which is also a fan favorite. Degreaser is used by both male and female. I found a lot of males actually buying degreaser more than the ladies, maybe because they understand how it works.
Sure.
Degreaser you can use indoor and outdoor. You use that on your stove. You use that in your microwave. You use it in your oven. You can use it to remove stains even on clothing. Sometimes if you have like a wine stain even. Or acha, whatever, some oil stain, you can use that on your clothing. Just spray a bit on your clothing, put that in the wash, and it comes out good as new. You can use that mostly like in your shisanyama's grill area, fry area. That's where it would be used.
Sure.
And then the star of the show, we introduced this in December.
Yeah.
And I wish I knew earlier. I really, really wish. It's one of those that I think God was like, girl, you need a break.
Revolutionary.
Oh my goodness. So this washing powder, quick wash, it's my product. I'm going to speak well of it, okay?
All right.
Please allow me.
Your time to shine.
It's my time to shine. Quick wash. It's been formulated to work both by hand and in the machine. So I haven't had, in fact, I've only had one person complain that but we've sold how much? About 7 tons now.
Whoa.
Since December.
Wow.
And if I could just give you a glimpse of what people say when they order, because we sell to resellers now, the washing powder. And I will get a voice note saying, I mean, for someone to actually call me and shout at me for my product, for me, I just feel like, wow.
That's
awesome. So that's why I call it the star of the show, because it just took over, and we've sold more washing powder than anything else really at a go. It's got enough foam, but then it's also very fine texture. So which means that it dissolves very quickly. It doesn't have time to clog up in the machine. When you put it in so you can use it both in the washing machine and by hand.
Oh, it works for
both.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I want to know the price, but it's okay.
Check it on our website. Check on our website.
Yes. So I want to open up the floor for questions. So does anyone in the audience have a question for Dichaba?
This is my question. I have two questions actually. How do you actually mix? Because you said you have a husband, right? So how is your family life taking that? And the second question is that you spoke of scaling, right? Since business works on competition, right? So how are you standing out from the rest? Right? There's a lot of other products that do the same thing, right? So if me now, because I'm here and I see it, but the other person, and I'm talking to you personally, right? So maybe that can inspire me to buy it, but the other person, not the same thing. So how are you different from the rest?
Okay, so for the first question, I don't want to lie. I think the hardest part of starting a business was the family aspect. That's my truth. That's my honest truth. Fighting, we fought a lot. I don't want to lie.
Sure.
We fought quite a lot, and it's not a fight out of rebellion, but because what I see and what I feel, no one else can see it, no one else can feel it. No matter how close you are to me, no matter how much I may try to explain it to you, you won't get that that I had.
Yeah.
You know? So it did come with a lot of strife. It came with a lot of fighting. And the obvious thing is to say, girl, you're a woman, find a balance. That does not exist. It doesn't exist. I don't know. Maybe I haven't come across it. Maybe I haven't come across it.
Sure.
But I think it was the most difficult part of it all. I think the worst of that whole part was when we actually had to downgrade our life. That took a lot from my family because we're staying in an estate in a nice suburb somewhere, and we had nice cars and so on. I mean, I'm from occupational health and safety. People get paid nice.
Sure.
To not having a salary at all, and you are chasing this thing that needs a lot of money now, and just the shift of moving from that to Elokishini now, and it was quite a change, especially if you're the female, I think maybe I wouldn't say I've completely overcome it, but we are at a point where there is some kind of understanding.
Okay.
We would say, look, number one, if I communicate better by saying, look, on these days, I can't compromise. I need to, because it's delivery day on Friday. I've got this important meeting on this day, and so on. And also where the money is concerned as well, to say, Bish, I'm going to need a few. Can you please help me?
Sure.
Because maybe it also depends on the maturity of your relationship as well. With how mature you are together. Not necessarily how many years you've been together.
That's a very key point.
Yeah. How you're able to, and I think maybe another thing is I was fortunate that my husband as well is in business, so he's in a different type of business altogether.
Yeah.
It's more service based, and doesn't require so much time from him.
Okay.
But because he's in business, he sort of kind of understands.
Shout out to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your second question had to do with
You
How do you
different
stand
from
out?
the rest.
Yeah.
okay, so what makes us different from the rest is that we come with a very humanly element. We come with a very we very touchy feeling. We are not planning to go onto the shelves. That's not our plan at all. We want the one-on-one. Yes. So if you're going to get our product, you're going to get it from someone. Yes. Exactly. So that's the reason why we are growing the reseller model, because we want that personal touch. We want you to have a relationship with that reseller. That reseller has influence somewhere, somehow. They're part of a source site somewhere, or maybe they are a youth leader in Konzweni, or in their community, they've got like some kind of a youth, whatever, or umntana kagogo, umntana kagogo, gogo sit next door, no gogo angale, like they're the ones that are being sent around to the shops or going to keep it grant or whatever the case is. They have some kind of influence somewhere somehow. So that's the influence that we're using to move the brand and for the buyer to have that connection with the person. Yeah.
That's nice because you're kind of creating a relationship with your product.
Yeah.
So now you're gaining lifelong clients instead of just selling once and then, hey,
it's over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have another question in the audience. Yes.
Hi and good afternoon, actually. Well, very big job for you guys. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So what strategies you take to help you market your business?
There are a few. We've tried and failed at some. The one that we are working on now involves a number of things. Number one, social media. So there's a company, I think I've mentioned, Hygriene Council.
Yes.
They are a big part of our marketing because they handle our website. They make sure that it's up and running. It's doing well. It's updated and so on. So we use Hygriene a lot for our digital stuff. We've got what we do activations very often. So we'll go to our resellers and they'll give us a date and say, oh, it's such and such a date. We would like to have an event or whatever, soap party. I know this one guy did a soap party in Orlando and he sold so many units. After that, I was just like, okay, it was not such a bad idea. It was his own idea. He just thought, okay, maybe let me just call a group of ladies and they would come and, would have like buckets and buckets of soap and, and people would just be coming to look at it, to test it out, to see, how well does it wash, and people would bring like their dirty socks or whatever and, would do.
It sounds like so much fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it does get quite interactive. Yeah, so those are some of the things that we do because our business is very much people based. Like we don't wanna lose touch of the human element. I mean, even our AI, we've got a persona for the business called Tandy. And Tandy.
So Tandy must come sit in.
So Tandy is actually not even a physical human being. It's just like an AI image because we don't want to take away that human element within our business. So when you send an email or whatever, you're sending it to Tandy, yes, someone is receiving it, a physical somebody is receiving it, but Tandy is like the person of Hygriene. Yeah, exactly. Wow. So we just keep the human part. Yeah.
Awesome. We'll take another question.
Hi, everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
Can see the energy. It tells me you're going far.
Yes. Thank you.
My question: what keeps you motivated, even if you're facing the failure?
I think what keeps me motivated now is a lot different from what kept me motivated before. In the beginning, it was something totally different. Now, what keeps me motivated is my team. When I bring someone on board, I'm giving them a promise. I'm making them a promise that, listen, there's some kind of security here, So if I am not feeling well and I have to get out of bed, and I look at my kids, I'm like, okay, when is seeing but now,
yes,
I don't know, we'll see what's happening in Kabetin Lake. So that's what gets me up to say, I made a promise. Yeah. I made a promise. I can't go back on that.
Sure.
They depending on me to be able. I mean, they have got me in all ways. I'm so grateful for my team. I really am. They've got me in so many ways. Sometimes they will make sacrifices that I don't even know of and only learn them like after sometimes. She did that for me.
Sure.
And for me to let them down, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Someone is beaming in the audience. Do we have any more questions, guys? Not. There's another question.
Thank you.
It's motivated to still black business already.
Yeah.
My question is your strategy of distribution in Africa. How do you plan on going abroad?
I haven't stepped out of Africa yet. I'm planning to start in the SADC region. Start very, very close so that I'm able to monitor and see if it works well first. So the first country that I have in mind is Eswatini, mainly because I was born there. And I'm already...
Yes, you.
Oh, yes, okay. Oh, shit. So my plan is to start Eswatini and roll out the model there, the reseller model there. Once we have locked it here and seen that it works quite well here, and we've got, some kind of a flow.
Sure.
We've fixed all the teething problems and all of that before we move to Eswatini. Then from Eswatini, once we've established that and see that it works well there, then we can replicate that in the other SADC countries before we move on to a bit further in Africa. That's the plan. But we're planning to keep the whole reseller model. Yeah.
Awesome. Any other question? I think we're good. So please tell us how people can reach you.
Okay.
And what platforms you're on and phone numbers and so on and so forth.
All right. So you can check us on our website. It's www.hygriene, Hygriene, hygriene.com. You can also follow us on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok as well, at Hygriene. It's all Hygriene. You can also follow me on my personal TikTok page. I post quite a bit of content there. And that's Dichaba.Kubayi. Yeah, Dichaba.Kubayi. That's on TikTok.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome.
Oh, a cell phone number. My personal cell phone number is 073-201-3216. You can WhatsApp me. You can also just scan our QR code. I don't know if you're able to see it on the screen, or we can put it up.
We'll put it up. We'll put it
Okay.
up on the program.
No problem.
Yeah.
And that will take you straight onto our website. Yes.
Awesome.
For me, it's a big, big thank you. You have been so forthcoming with the information, so inspirational, also very admirable how you have prioritized your business and you have a growth idea. Because I feel like most of the time with entrepreneurs, you're just doing something and you don't necessarily see the growth or the projection or the systems of it all. So I am. Firstly, congratulations, like everybody has said, yeah, because you just started, hey, and I think you did mention a few things with failure, but I think those are warranted failures, like with management and finance. I feel like in general, as an entrepreneur, when you are expanding, those are the ones that we need. So yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
And thank you for having this conversation. I have acquired so much more new information.
Thank you.
I know she's spoken from business talk. I want to
Thank you.
say we do want you back when you enter into other territories in Africa. We need to come back and have the conversation because the dynamics change. So it'll be good to hear what's new, what's happening with you. But once again, thank you so much for agreeing to sit with us. We really, really appreciate it.
It's a gift from
Look at that.
Thank you.
I'm Brendan. For those of us who are watching on our YouTube channel, please join us again next week. We'll be talking about commercial law. Very, very interesting. You need to know as a business person. So, and those of us who are here, please come here, bring people, it's very important for business people to know what we'll be talking about next week. Law and business is very, very important. But yeah, thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week.